So,
okay?
sir, talking about that, your partnership lasted years. It's
Till-
still now,
till
it's
today.
still on.
Yes, till today.
How did you all make it work?
2 or 3 things. Number one, don't be put off when I keep on insisting the home from which we came from. The 3 of us, okay? The home from which we came from. They were homes where you accepted whatever your parents said you should do. And I tell you, if mom insisted all through, don't resign from the interest, I probably may not have.
Oh, wow.
So that was the kind of rapport and relationship. Number 2, lack of greed. We sat down and said to each other, choosing a managing director amongst us was easy. We just, 3 of us, there was no 4th party, 3 of us. We look at the trajectory of where we are coming from. Akonusi was already GM at his agency. So he had more experience than the 2 of us at the top management level. So it was easy to say, look, Akin, you're going to be managing director. Okay, Steve, you have been in client service all your life. You're going to do head client service. Tunde, media guru. He's always been in media. So it's like we kind of selected each other and each person knew his role.
Roles were well defined.
Defined. And then what creates problem in partnerships? Money.
Yes, sir.
Money. For some reason, we all sat, 3 of us sat down. For 6 months, we told each other, nobody is taking 1 kobo out of this place. Our wives will have to take care of our homes.
Did you sit down with your wives to agree this?
After meeting.
After you,
oh yeah, we did though. But thank God, the 3 of them were working. All right?
Oh.
Yes, the 3 of them were working. They were earning something good enough. And then in any case, each person was living in a 2-bedroom apartment. You could manage.
Manage for 6 months.
Yes, for 6 months, you know. Because whatever came in was to grow the business. Buy equipment. Okay? In those days, you needed, in your studio, you needed cameras, big camera. You needed to produce films, you know, to prepare artwork. So we needed to put whatever was coming in, you know. And we managed that for 6 months. We only hired a secretary and 1 creative person. 2.
So 3 of you and 2 other full-time staff. For how long was this, sir?
And that probably went on for the 1st year. And we managed through. By the end of the 1st year, we were able to sit down and say, now we could,
yes,
you know, bring in more people. Oh yeah, we worked hard.
So you people were really the ones doing the work.
Oh no, well, of course.
Because I think sometimes entrepreneurs start and say, let's have the office, let's have 5 full-time staff.
No, that's the practice these days. But then we were hands-on. Every client that we had, virtually the 3 of us were in charge.
Wow.
You know, the creative guy was sitting in there for the briefs to come. We discussed the briefs. He did the creative but we're all working together all through for the first 1 year, and gradually things started happening. So greed. And what I also notice a lot is new entrepreneurs wants to take so much out
From
of
the
these
business.
small starting off enterprises. Something happens in your home, you want to borrow money. Something, no, you want a loan, you want advance. You know, amongst the three of us, not once did anybody come. I mean, we're talking about 40-something years old. Okay, we now retired and the younger ones are. Not once did we have a little talk about money. At the end of every day, we were sitting together, you know, to see what have we done today, what are the plans for tomorrow, and on and on. Of course, the company gradually grew. I had to move out of Surulere onto Ikeja, and eventually bought a property, and, you know. So for the ones coming in, I enjoy sitting down to talk to them. You know, I always say to them, you didn't drop from heaven.
Yes, sir.
And become an overnight success. You had to go through the ropes. It's tough, but honestly, once you love what you are doing. Third one, we didn't interfere with anybody's families. Our wives kept out of the business. And it wasn't something that we agreed we wanted to do. Okay, but for some reason, they kept out of the business. Oh yeah, you know, all that kind of little talks that makes you start feeling, oh, are you getting the best out of this or somebody else's? We didn't have that.
Wow.
Until today, it has never showed up. And then we had trust.
How did you build the trust? Was the trust?
I think it started from a cocker.
Okay.
Believe me. It started from the University of Lagos, where three of us were in the same department. We knew each other. I mean, we were close to 30 that went through part 1 to part 3. So you probably want to ask, why the three of you? Unknown to each other, we were reading and studying each other. It was not planned. It was not anything you gave any. You know how children grow up and suddenly a little group start forming within the larger groups. We visit each other at home. We got to know our parents. They got to know us, you know. And for crying out loud, when we finished, the two of them, one went to America, one went to Britain. I remained in Nigeria. So by the time they came back, I was part of trying to get them fixed up in, you know, in the various places that they were interested in. You know? So at some point, Tunde and I were in Lintas, Akin was elsewhere. Tunde left Lintas, went to Cadbury, so we were all in separate places. But when the time came, we knew exactly who you could partner with, who you could survive with when the chips are down. And honestly, God played a major role. We didn't go wrong. Till today, we're still as tightly knit as when we started well over 40 years ago, you know. And we meet at parties, we're sitting together. And our friends will come to say, Shatuti Bare board meeting, we are just drawn to each other, you know.
In fact, all I see is that I'm going to sit down with three of you, but
yes.
I will talk about that later, but we must. This just sounds so amazing. It sounds amazing. But you've said so much, and I just want to ask you a question, because in these days, so you see a lot of, you know, us young people say, I don't want to work for anybody. I want to work for myself because I want to be my own boss. I want to just, you know. What to you is really entrepreneurship?
Okay. Number one, before you even start talking about being an entrepreneur, you must be patient enough to learn the ropes. You've got to, number one, as much as possible, make up your mind what direction you want to go. Okay? What is it that gives you the kicks, the satisfaction? What is it you think you can do, spend your life, almost your whole life, doing without getting tired or bored? So I counsel them, start off from somewhere. You must learn. Okay, you don't jump down. I mean, some people are lucky. Out of university, maybe they have good capital from parents or from the system, and they set something up. For some of them, they don't want partnership because problems will come. So I'm doing it. I'm on my own. I want to do it on my own. I can then employ. When I employ, nobody is sitting down with me asking for equal rights or equal treatment and all that. No, you got to do it equally. No, they don't want that. And that's why the idea of partnership is not the most popular thing in this part of the world. In fact, Lagos Business School started off wanting to look into our partnership as a model of training for younger kids coming into various departments of Lagos Business School. It's not something that comes that easy or cheap. And it's not as if we didn't disagree.
In fact, I was to say, so did you have, okay, so this sweet story now, were there ever any time that there's a major challenge, the time I say, I'm not even doing a game?
There were challenges, but it never got to a level of any of us saying, like they would, I'm just leaving. We disagree on the jobs. We disagree on principles. We disagree on the way some things are being run. But you know what? A lot of the time, we just lock ourselves up in one of our rooms, the three of us. You air your disagreements. You air the problems you think you are facing. We'll discuss them. At the end of the day, we'll just say, okay, guys, let's go home, sleep over it, come back tomorrow. A lot of the times, tomorrow, we don't get back to it because that heart-to-heart talk that we've had the night previous. And I must also say this, we hardly discussed our problems with our wives. Maybe it's not the right thing to do because we always believed it's something we could sort out on our own.
So why do you say maybe it's not the right thing to do? Because some people might think maybe that brought some drama, that did not... You know, sometimes when women are involved in something, it tends to be more dramatic.
More dramatic. And ideas that did not come into your mind before.
Yes.
You bring it up. And from there, you too, if you get fickle-minded once in a while, could start leaning towards that.
So did you consciously say we are not discussing this amongst our wives, or it just happened?
It just happened. We never had a situation where you get home, oh, do you know what Akin told me in the office today? Do you know what Tunde said today? Blah, 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 blah. It was easy for us to internalize it, analyze it after that. And by the next morning, and this is being as truthful as it comes, it was cleared. Went back to work. Okay? So this question has been asked a number of times. Did anybody ever say I'm up to now? And indeed, for 40 years plus, there was never a reason for anybody to say, I'm done. No. We had other partnerships falling apart.
Oh, yes.
Even during our own time. But the typical example is go and see the guys at Rosabel.